Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel, where we learn English through interesting and meaningful stories. Today, I'm going to tell you a long story that will not only help you improve your English, but will also give you something to think about. This story uses easy words and simple sentences, but it talks about some important ideas that we can all relate to. So, sit back, relax, and let's begin this journey together. The journey to the unknown. Once, in a small town surrounded by mountains and rivers, lived a young man named Alex. Alex was a kind person, loved by everyone, but he felt empty inside. He had a comfortable life, a stable job, a cozy home, and many friends. But something was missing. Deep inside, he had a feeling that he was meant for more. He wanted to do something meaningful, something that would make him feel truly alive. Every morning, Alex would wake up and look at the mountains in the distance. They looked mysterious and almost magical. The peaks were often covered with snow, and sometimes they were hidden by thick clouds. These mountains made him wonder, what lies beyond them? He had heard stories of people who traveled far and returned with amazing tales, but he had never been brave enough to leave his town. One evening, as the sun was setting, Alex took a long walk along the river. The orange and pink colors in the sky reflected in the water, making everything look beautiful. At that moment, he made a decision. "I will leave tomorrow," he said to himself. "I will go beyond the mountains and see what the world has to offer." The next morning, Alex packed a small bag with some clothes, food, and a journal. He said goodbye to his family and friends, who were both surprised and worried. "What if you get lost?" his mother asked. "What if you find nothing special?" his friends said. But Alex only smiled. He didn't have all the answers. He just knew he had to go. His journey began with a long, steep climb up the first mountain. It was harder than he thought. The air was cold, and the path was rough. But with each step, he felt a strange happiness growing inside him. He was finally doing something different, something that felt true to his heart. As he walked, he met other travelers. Some were young, like him, searching for new experiences. Others were older, with wise eyes that seemed to know many secrets. They shared stories by the fire at night, talking about places they had seen, people they had met, and things they had learned. Days turned into weeks, and Alex began to see the world in a new way. He saw forests filled with strange animals, rivers that were as clear as glass, and deserts that seemed to go on forever. He discovered that every place had its own beauty, and every person he met had their own story. One day, as he walked through a quiet village, he met an old man who looked peaceful and calm. The man noticed that Alex seemed tired, both in his body and in his mind. He invited Alex to sit with him under a big tree. "Why do you look so lost, young traveler?" the old man asked gently. Alex thought for a moment. "I started this journey to find meaning," he replied. "But I still don't feel like I have found it." The old man nodded slowly. "Sometimes, the answers we seek are not in the places we go, but within ourselves." He paused and looked at Alex. "Tell me, what have you learned from your journey so far?" Alex thought about all the people he had met and all the places he had seen. He realized that each experience had taught him something different. He had learned kindness from a family who shared their meal with him, courage from a friend who saved him from danger, and patience from days when the road was difficult. The old man smiled, as if he understood everything Alex was thinking. "Remember, my friend," he said, "the journey is just as important as the destination. Sometimes, life's true meaning is in the moments we experience along the way." Alex felt a deep sense of peace as he listened. He realized that maybe he didn't need a big, final answer. Instead, he could focus on learning and growing every day. He thanked the old man and continued on his journey, with a new understanding in his heart. As Alex traveled further, he found himself in a small, vibrant town filled with artists, musicians, and storytellers. Everywhere he looked, there were colors, sounds, and laughter. People were creating beautiful paintings, writing songs, and telling stories that filled the air with energy. It was a place unlike any he had ever seen, full of life and passion. One evening, while exploring the town, Alex met a woman named Elena. She was a painter with eyes that seemed to hold a world of emotion. Her paintings were simple, yet they spoke to the heart. Curious, Alex asked her, "How do you find such beauty in the world?" Elena smiled softly and replied, "I believe that beauty is everywhere. We just need to open our eyes to see it." She paused, looking at one of her paintings. "When I paint, I try to capture not just what I see, but also what I feel. Life is full of colors, emotions, and small moments that many people overlook. Art helps me express that." Alex found her words powerful. He thought back to his own life, realizing how often he had focused on tasks, goals, and achievements, while missing the beauty of everyday moments. Inspired, he decided to start his own journal, not just of events, but of feelings, thoughts, and small moments of joy. In each town he visited, he wrote down little things that made him smile. The laughter of children playing, the scent of flowers in a garden, or the warmth of a simple meal shared with strangers. As the months passed, Alex continued to encounter people who touched his heart and taught him new ways to look at life. There was Marcus, a farmer who taught him the importance of patience. Growing something takes time, Marcus had said one sunny afternoon, as they worked together in the fields. If you rush, you'll only feel disappointed. But if you give things time and care, they grow beautifully. These words stayed with Alex. He realized that in his old life, he had often rushed, trying to find happiness quickly. But now, he saw the value of slowing down, of allowing things to happen naturally. Each person he met, each experience he lived, became like a thread woven into the fabric of his life. Then, one day, Alex reached the edge of a vast ocean. It was a breathtaking sight, with waves crashing against the shore and the sun setting over the water, casting a golden light across the horizon. Here, he met an elderly sailor named Thomas. The sailor had a weathered face, marked by years spent at sea, but his eyes were bright with kindness. Alex spent days listening to Thomas's stories about the ocean. Thomas spoke of storms, peaceful days, and distant lands. He talked about the beauty of freedom, the strength needed to face unknown challenges, and the quiet satisfaction of returning home after each journey. One evening, as they sat by a fire, Alex shared his own story. He told Thomas about his life back in the small town, his search for meaning, and the lessons he had learned along the way. Thomas listened quietly, then placed a hand on Alex's shoulder. "Son," he said, "sometimes we go out looking for something, only to realize that it was with us all along. The journey doesn't always give us answers, but it helps us understand who we are. And that, my friend, is the greatest treasure of all." Alex felt a deep sense of clarity as he listened to Thomas's words. He had traveled far, met wonderful people, and experienced things he had never imagined. And now, he felt closer to understanding himself than ever before. But there was one more thing he needed to do before returning home. He gazed at the ocean, the endless horizon stretching before him, and knew that his journey was not over yet. With the waves crashing beside him and the gentle glow of the evening sky above, Alex took a deep breath. The ocean, wide and mysterious, seemed to call to him. But this time he felt different. He realized that he no longer needed to wander to find meaning. His journey had given him something far greater, an understanding of himself and the world around him. The next morning, Alex thanked Thomas, the old sailor, for his wisdom and said goodbye. With a calm heart, he started the journey back to his hometown. As he traveled, he felt a sense of peace and purpose he had never known before. Every mountain he crossed, every river he passed, felt familiar yet new, as if he were seeing them through different eyes. When Alex finally returned home, his family and friends welcomed him with open arms. They noticed that something about him had changed. His face was calm, his voice was steady, and his eyes held a quiet confidence. He was still the same person, yet he had grown in ways that words could not describe. Over the next few months, Alex shared his experiences with those around him. He told stories of the kind strangers he had met, the wisdom he had gained, and the beauty he had seen in simple things. People listened, inspired by his tales, and they began to see their own lives differently, too. They started noticing the beauty in everyday moments and the importance of slowing down. One evening, as Alex sat by the river, watching the sunset, he realized that his journey had never really ended. The adventure, the lessons, and the meaning he had searched for, they would continue in every moment of his life, whether he was at home or somewhere far away. He had found that life itself was a journey, one that he could walk with purpose, peace, and an open heart. And so, Alex lived his days with gratitude, knowing that sometimes the greatest journeys are the ones that bring us back to ourselves. Thank you for listening to this story. Remember, no matter where you are or what you're searching for, sometimes the answers we seek are already within us. Life is a journey, filled with lessons and beauty if we only take the time to see it. I hope you enjoyed this story and that it gave you something to think about. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories that can help you learn English and maybe even learn a little more about life. See you in the next video.